PRS Math World. Today we are going to discuss about the practical problems 4, 5, 6 or vector spaces. So here for fourth problem we have to know some theorem, that is unique representation theorem. What is unique representation theorem means? Take one basis which contains n number of vectors and take then for each vector which contained in V, then there must exist unique set of scalars. That means how many number of vectors in this basis, that number of scalars we should take, and take the linear combination of all these. That is, x can be written as c1b1 plus c2b2 and so on up to cn bn. Then this is called unique representation theorem. Then the coordinates of x relative to the basis b. For this, by using unique representation theorem, what we can say, take one basis which contains n number of vectors and take one vector from vector space. Then the coordinates of x relative to the basis b are nothing but the weights. Weights are nothing but the scalars c1, c2 and so on up to cn, such that by unique representation theorem we can write like this. So in this, what are these weights or these scalars are nothing but what? B coordinates of x. Okay, or we can say the coordinates of x relative to the basis b, and it is denoted by x over b, which representing in the column form. Now see practical problem 4. The set B, which is a basis for P2. P2 means what? It is a polynomial which contains constant t term, t square term, right? Then find the coordinate vector of Pt relative to the given basis. So in this, by using unique representation theorem, we have three vectors and we have to take three unique scalars, that is c1, c2, c3. Then x can be written as what? c1p1 plus c2p2 plus c3p3. So to find the coordinate vector of p relative to the basis b, what we have to take, what are given, that we have to write first. That is what? Take the basis for p2, where p of t is also mentioned in p2 means it contains three elements, constant, t term and t square term. Now to find the coordinates of p, what is the vector here? It is given this one relative to the basis b, which is denoted by what? P over b. So what we have to take for this relative, what is that? Coordinates of p relative to the basis b is nothing but, here three vectors are given, so corresponding three unique scalars we should take, that is what? c1, c2, c3. Now p of t can be written as c1 into vector 1 plus c2 into vector 2 plus c3 into vector 3, where these three vectors are already given in the basis. Now substitute p of t, then multiply all these things, right? c1 plus c2, c1 into t square, like this, c2 into t, c2 into t square, like this we can multiply each and every term. After that, take constants, here constant, t term, t square terms are there. So in the same way we have to take constants here. What are the constants here? c1, here c3, take at a time, and take t common, then c2 plus 2c3 into t square common, then you can get like this. Okay, t square we have three terms, right? Now comparing constants and t terms and t square coefficients, right? So by comparing constants, c1 plus c3 is nothing but 1, and by comparing t coefficients, this is 4 here and t coefficient is here. The same way t square coefficients, this and this. We can find these values in two different ways. One is by solving these three equations, we can get c1, c2, c3 values, which is nothing but the coordinate vectors related to the basis b. Or we can write in another way, by taking augmented matrix, that is, take the coefficients of c1, c2, c3 and take this right side values as like this, and this is 1, c2 coefficient is 0 and c3 coefficient is 1, take as first row, like this second row, third row coefficients we should take, and convert this matrix into identity matrix. Then whatever the values of the right side values, which is nothing but the required coordinate matrix relative to basis b. So by taking row operations, we have to convert this 1 as 0. How to make it into 0? R3 minus R1. So take R3 minus R1, R3 minus R1, that is 1 minus 0, 1, 1 minus 1, 0, 7 minus 1, 6. Like this. So to get this is also equating to 0 by taking which one? R3 minus R2. By taking R3 minus R2, then we can get this as 0, and these are the remaining elements. Okay. Now take R3 divided by, we have to convert this into 0, 0, 1 form, but here minus 2 is there. So minus 2 divided by minus 2, that is R3 divided by minus 2, then you can get 1 divided by minus 2 means here minus 1. Like here 0, 1 is there, here we want to convert this into 0. So what we can take here? R1 is nothing but here we should convert this into 0, that is what? R1 minus R3, then it will be 0. In the same way, this can be converting into 0 by taking what? R2 minus 2 into R3, then this value will be 0. By doing all these operations, that is R1 minus R3, that is R1 minus R3, then you can get 1. Like this we are doing for everyone, then you can get this matrix. So this is the identity matrix. Then the corresponding values are nothing but the P coordinate matrix over the basis B, that is 2, 6, minus 1. Now let us see the practical problem 5, which is similar to fourth problem. Take the basis for P2, same, find the coordinate vector of P relative to the basis. Same, but the vectors will be different. So take the basis as it is. So here also P of T is given. In P2 means we should have 3 vectors, that is 1t, t square. Then the coordinates of P relative to B we are denoting by P over B, where the scalars are C1, C2, C3, because it is in P2 means it should contain 3 number of elements, constant, t term, t square term. Like this 3 vectors are there, so corresponding 3 scalars, that is C1, C2, C3. Now take a unique representing form, that is P of T can be written as C1 into vector 1 plus C2 into vector 2 plus C3 into vector 3. Again take the multiplication, take the expansion, multiply all the terms. After that take constant terms at a time and take t terms, take t common and take t square terms. After that compare constants, coefficients and t coefficients and t square coefficients. So by solving these 3 equations we can get C1, C2, C3 values. Otherwise you can apply the same previous method, that is what? By taking row operations we should convert this into identity matrix form. Then whatever the values for this right side, that values will be the values for C1, C2, C3. So by taking row operations, first we can convert this value is equating to 0 by taking R3 plus R1, do for every term, then you can get this line. Then take R3, this also can be equating to 0 by taking R3 plus R2, by taking each term, then you can get here 0, then the values will be like this. Then we should convert this into 1. After that also you can take R3 by 2, then it will be 1. Again here 0, 1, 0 should come. So for that here this value converting into 0, because 1, 0, 0 form will come, we should want. So for that take this as 0 by taking R1 minus R3, then it will be 0. So take R1 minus R3 for every term, then this value will be like this. Again here 1, 0, 0 is there, and here for 0, 0, 1 what we should do? By taking divided by 2 for each term, then this value will be 1. Here also minus 1. Now lastly here 0, 1, 0 we want. For that what we should do? Take R2 plus R3. Then you can get the identity matrix. Then what are the elements for C1, C2, C3? 3, 2, minus 1. Now see practical problem 6. The vectors, 3 vectors are given which spans R2 but do not forms a basis. Find 2 different ways to express 1, 1 as a linear combination of V1, V2, V3. Here 3 vectors are given it spans R2, it is clearly mentioned, but it is not the basis. So for basis we should contain two conditions. One is it should be span of vector space, and it should be this set is linearly independent set. But here what we need to prove, it does not form a basis in the sense it is not linearly independent. So find two different ways to express this vector as a linear combination of given vector it is given. So first write whatever the vectors are given, and what we need to show that also we should write. After that, take one vector from R2, means it contains two elements. It is given R2 is the span of these three vectors. So in this vector is given, substitute that vector. This can be span, means it can be written as linear combination of these three vectors. So take three scalars x1, x2, x3 and take the linear combination, then write the vectors, substitute the vectors. Now as usual, take the augmented matrix, take this as matrix form and take these values as right values. Then by doing row operations directly you can write x1 plus x2 x2 minus 3x3 equals 1. Like this we can take two equations. Instead of that, by reducing into simplest form, then if you are writing, then it will be easy to find out the x1, x2, x3 values. That's why we are taking row operations again. So take this as equating to 0. How we can take it into 0? R2 plus 3 into R1, then it will be 0. So do row operations for each term in the second row, then you can get like this. After that, this may be ones. So R1, this may be 0. Then how you can convert, Nana? R1 plus R2. Okay, this converting into 0 by taking R1 plus R2, then R1 plus R2 for first row, then we can get here 0 and we can get different values. After that, this make it into 1 by taking divided by minus 2 for every value, then you can get like this. So now you can converting into equation form by taking, now write this matrix x1, x2, x3 equals to this one. Now make it into equations. x1 plus 0x2 minus 5x3 equals to 5. Like this, write the second equation. So here clearly what we can observe, x1 is depends on x3. In the same way x2 is also depends on x3. So one vector is depends on another vector, then obviously we can say it is linearly dependent. Linearly dependent in the sense it is not the basis. That means suppose by taking x3 equals to 0 or any real number, then we can get x1, x2 are some values which depends on x3. So like this we can take any number of values, like suppose x3 equals to 0, then you can get x1, x2 values. So this vector can be written as 5 into v1 plus minus 2 into v2 plus 0 into v3. In the same way we can take suppose x3 equals to some 1, then you can have x1, x2 have some different values also we can write. So like this we can write any number of linear combinations. That's why it is not the unique representation. It is not unique representation. So one vector is depends on another vector in the sense it is not the basis. It is not linearly independent. So while it is the span of v1, v2, v3, but it is not linearly independent. That's why it is not the basis. What are the two different ways it is asking means, this is one way and this is second way to representing into linear combination form.